Hello and welcome to another Doctor's Assistant 1 video. Today I'm doing a video, a non-Doctor Who video for a change. I know, a rarity on the channel. I just thought I'd say, I've got a cold, so if you think I sound a bit odd, that's probably why. And secondly, I haven't done a video for quite some time, and thirdly, I guess, building off the second point, I haven't done a video in front of the camera for quite some time either, so so if I come across sounding a bit odd, or odder maybe than I usually do, or a bit, like I'm stumbling a bit even more, then that's probably why. As I say, I've got a cold, and I haven't done a lot of videos over September. It's October now of this recording, so I think it's October the 8th, I want to say, the 8th of October. This video is of course titled, wherever the title of the video-y thing is, my top 3 Jedi. So these are just my picks for my personal top 3 Jedis. I thought I'd do this video seeing as, obviously, Star Wars, The Last Jedi, or I think it's called The Last Jedi, is it? I want to say it's called The Last Jedi. Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi, comes out in December, I want to say, as well. So in sort of preparation for that, I just thought I'd do a Star Wars video, something a bit different, but still sort of sci-fi-esque, because I'm a big fan of sci-fi as a whole, beyond just Doctor Who. I love, Back to the Future, the Alien franchise is pretty cool, RoboCop, I'm just looking over there because all my DVDs are there, Star Wars, RoboCop, Back to the Future, Firefly, Alien, Torchwood, Rick and Morty, although that's, animation, but it's still science fiction, Futurama. What else? All that sort of stuff. I really do like Star Wars. I really do like sci-fi as a whole, beyond just Doctor Who. So it'd be nice to branch out to some other sci-fi stuff. But I'm gonna just say that the one major rule that I have for this video, or for this top 3 that I picked out, is that the 3 Jedi that I'm picking are only from the episodes 1 through 7. They're not, expanded universe stuff, so the video games, the graphic novels and comic books, the cartoons and or animated series, so Star Wars Rebels, which I have over there, and the Star Wars Clone Wars TV movie I have also over there. Not got any of the seasons, unfortunately, on DVD, but I have Star Wars Rebels Season 1, but I'm not going to include any Jedis from those, or anything. I'm just strictly going from the prequels, to the original trilogy, to this new trilogy, and that's it. So, in at number 3, I would personally pick Qui-Gon Jinn. Now, why would I pick Qui-Gon Jinn? I think it's because my earliest memory of seeing a Jedi would probably be him, and I think, to me, I feel like he is what I perceive a Jedi to be, someone who's calm, collected. Whenever you do see him in Phantom Menace attack any sort of droids and or people, he seems to do it with such a sort of skill and air and sort of, the skill and tactics there. There's a sort of, there's this sort of almost, skill and that involved, where it's not as sort of just about attacking someone, it's about disarming them more, I think, and as well, the way he talks, the way he understands the Force as well. Granted, that obviously pissed off many fans by him saying about the midichlorians, but still, it wasn't just about some guy with a laser sword, he was some mystic sort of character who was interesting and foreboding enough that I was like, I was really sort of intrigued by who this character was, because he seemed collected as well, and sort of in control of his faculties and his sort of place in the universe, and that's what I think a Jedi should be, and was masterfully represented here with Qui-Gon Jinn. Hence the reason why it's such a shame that he only did the one, or was only in the one film, and that, I mean, I appreciate that, obviously, as I say, like, in an expanded universe, I'm sure he's in the comics and the video games and, Star Wars, Rebels, and I think he's in the Clone Wars show as a Force Ghost, I think, in one episode or something, but I think he was a really cool, sort of interesting character, so that's why he's my number 3 pick. Number 2, my number 2 Jedi would be Obi-Wan, because I think with Obi-Wan we see him in the prequel sort of become, I think he becomes, or he has to be, he's sort of almost forced to be a Jedi, well, not a Jedi Master, but become a Jedi Master almost a bit too soon, and that's very evident in the prequels, I think, I think a lot of what happened with Anakin can be traced back to Obi-Wan, and the fact that, Obi-Wan isn't quite, as I said before with Qui-Gon Jinn, in control of his faculties yet. He doesn't fully grasp the gravitas of, and the expansive, maturity and responsibility of taking on the Force as a whole, means, really, I think. But by the sort of episodes 4, 5 and 6, or episodes 4 at least, obviously, because I've just realised, 5 and 6 he's, spoiler alert, dead by then. But I think by episode 4 you really see him become, I think, the master that he probably should have been for Anakin, but with Luke, and I think, as I say, you do see him in Star Wars Rebels recently, but as I say, for this, I'm mainly counting the films, the canonical films, and I think he's in episode 4, I think he reaches this sort of level of, I could class him as a Jedi Master, but by that point it's a bit too late, and I think he accepts his fate when he gets killed by Darth Vader, spoiler alert, but I think he fights the fight, and he does what he needs to do, and I think he tries the best that he can do with the resources that he has, because to think about it from his perspective, his master had just died before he was ever ready and or expecting that to happen, in combat by Darth Maul, and so, as I say, I think a lot of responsibility and a lot of pressure was thrusted upon Obi-Wan, and I think only sort of as he gets through, or when he's in episode 3 and 4, I think that's when we see a big shift from episode 1 and 2 version of Obi-Wan, because the thing is as well, like, sometimes, like, Obi-Wan's a bit sort of like, pally-wally with Anakin in some of the earlier episodes and or some sort of scenes and that, but as time progresses I think he becomes a bit more, or he tries to be more like a teacher, but I think Anakin's a bit too far gone by that point, and that, but yeah, and I think Obi-Wan standalone film would be amazing, and I think he's definitely one of the Jedi, definitely fleshed out enough, or interesting enough, and I think there's enough fans and a big enough fan base surrounding him as a character, and enough people adore his characterization both in the prequels and the original trilogy, that there's a demand there to see an Obi-Wan standalone film. And that, I think, so yeah, that's why it's my number 2. And then number 1 would be Yoda, really, because he is probably, out of the canonical Star Wars, as I say, so episodes 1 through 7, if not maybe 8, but then again that's not of this recording out yet, but he is the oldest Jedi, and I think when I think of the founder of this sort of religion, this sort of, I don't want to say cult, but this order and or establishment of sorts, you know, when I even, yeah, as a kid, but as a teen and that, as a young adult, I still sort of think, as a teen, I still think, you know, to myself, that he is the founder, he is the Jedi, in the sense that, not so much that he is the most powerful, or he is the, you know, the first Jedi, but, well, yeah, he is the first Jedi to me, but whether or not, well, I don't know, I don't think he is, he's just the oldest, and therefore I just instinctively think, okay, he's the oldest, so he might be the first ever Jedi, you know. He seems to transcend time and transcend all of the Star Wars universe. I think he is pretty much in most of Star Wars, if not all of it, most of it, you know, and I think he is one of the most iconic Jedi. You know, when you think Star Wars, you probably think Darth Vader, you know, Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, Yoda, you know, whether it's the puppet version from the original trilogies, which I'm fine with, or the not so good CG version in the prequels. I think the prequels one is alright, but when he's jumping about and he's, you know, zipping about the place, I think that's where it falls apart for me personally, because he's like a little bogey, but on fucking steroids, like Flubber on friggin' steroids going all over the place. But yeah, I think Yoda, because he's a really cool, interesting creature. He's got an interesting, yeah, so he biologically speaking, he looks interesting, and, you know, to find out more about his race would be really interesting. He is shrouded in mystery. He understands the Force like no one else. He, although by, I think, Star Wars Rebels is dead, I want to say, he's in, like, you know, people's Force visions. He, you know, he guides and has probably influenced so many Jedis. It's unbelievable. Again, I think, you know, again, going back to one of my earlier points, it's not just about, you know, cool effects and just someone with a laser sword. It's about this ancient sort of monk-like, shriveled up green little character with big ears and a sort of foreboding mystery and intrigue and wisdom, but also power to that wisdom. You know, he could, you know, I feel like he could, you know, scare a Sith by saying the right words in a right tone and in a right way, but also just force push them away and smash them into a shit ton of trees and have them break their spine and not be able to stand up straight for the rest of their lives and be paralysed or some shit, but without even picking up a lightsaber. You know, that's the magnitude of Yoda, you know, and the power of him, but also the sort of frailness of his body doesn't quite fit his power and his wisdom as well, and his intelligence, I guess. And he speaks kind of weird, but it makes him kind of interesting and he's cryptic, to say the least, and you just want to listen to what he has to say, or at least I do, and try to understand it and see where he's coming from. So yeah, those are my 3 picks for my top 3 Jedi. If you have your own list, please do comment below. Thanks for watching, comment, rate and subscribe.